Hello, and welcome to the second session of Flourish on Demand from the UW Oshkosh Counseling Center. Today, we are going to be focusing on the benefits of helping others and about building spirituality. Flourishing means living within an optimal range of human functioning, one that connotes goodness, generativity, growth, and resilience. Or simply put, feeling good and functioning well. There are three components to flourishing, and they are social well being. So, having a sense of belonging, feeling that you contribute to society, and that you are growing socially. Emotional well being, which is feeling happy, satisfied, and interested in life. And psychological well being, the ability to have healthy relationships, a sense of purpose in life, and personal growth. In the tapestry of life, we're all connected. Each one of us is a gift to those around us, helping each other be who we are, weaving a perfect picture together. There are many benefits of helping others or of giving of yourself. The first one is that it can stimulate happiness and it lowers depression. It builds a sense of purpose and meaning in life. It can strengthen the sense that we are a part of something larger than ourselves. And lastly, it reinforces that feeling of common humanity. So, with thinking about the benefits of helping others or being of service to others, and how that can bring a sense of purpose or meaning to someone's life, another concept in that same realm is spirituality. So, the definition of spirituality, or a definition, is a broad concept with room for many perspectives. In general, it includes a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves, and it typically involves a search for meaning in life. As such, it is a universal human experience, something that touches us all. So, before talking about spirituality, it is important to note that spirituality is not the same as religion. Spirituality can mean an abundance of things depending on the person. And kind of a cool part about it is that what one person defines as their own spiritual belief or spirituality can differ widely from another person's. So I encourage you to think about what spirituality means to you. Another thing to note is that it is proven to reduce anxiety and depression. So feeling spiritually connected to the world, to its people, to living things, to whatever it means to you, can reduce anxiety and depression. And lastly, it builds a sense of common humanity, just like helping others does. So being a part of something greater and a sense of purpose, which everybody pretty much wants, right? Everyone wants to have that common humanity, to feel like they have a sense of purpose in their life. Now that we have observed a definition of what spirituality is, or started to think about maybe for yourself what it means to you, we have offered some tips for increasing spirituality. So, the first one being meditation or mindfulness. Meditation can sometimes feel intimidating. How do you meditate? How do you know if you're in a meditative state? How do you know if you're mindful? On the next slide, we're going to go over some mindfulness activities and just to encourage you to try them out. Another really common spiritual practice or feeling spiritually connected is being in nature. So, getting away from the dorm room, getting away from the house or the apartment, turning off the technology for a little bit, and just getting outside, whatever that looks like for you. It might be a walk through the woods, it might be going to a lake or a pond and, being able to kind of observe nature and feel good about being outside. Another tip for increasing spirituality is internal reflection, which kind of goes along well with journaling. So, being able to take a moment throughout the day, at night, in the morning, whenever you feel that it's right for you, and starting to take a look inside. How am I feeling? How does my body feel right now? Are there any, tension or, energy or what's going on, right? What are my thoughts like? Are they, mostly positive, or are there some negative thoughts in there? So being able to have that internal reflection or awareness. And then prayer. This is another way to increase spirituality. And just to note again that prayer and religion do not necessarily mean the same thing. Now, if it means that for you, that's great. But for those who might not have a religious belief, prayer can also go well with setting intentions. So, setting intentions for the day. Today is going to be a good day. Today, I have 2 things to accomplish. Today, I am going to accept the things that I can't change, right? So, different prayers or setting of intentions. And then breath. So, breathing is something that is often forgotten about. And what it does is it anchors us to our body. So, noticing the breath, being aware, is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it really fast moving? Right? So, being able to just have that present awareness of how breathing feels right now to you. And then lastly, non-judgmental awareness. This is something that we will go over on the next slide, but is another way to increase spirituality. So now that we have introduced the concept of mindfulness, we are going to be doing a little mindfulness exercise, or just kind of talking over, different ways to practice mindfulness. So what mindfulness really is being present. What does it mean to be present? So it's almost like we have to define what it means to not be present, because presence is very simple. It's being one with where we are at, where our 2 feet are, right? So thinking about what it means to not be present is when your mind might be anchored in the future, really worried about what's going to happen next. What about this test that I have to take? Or even thinking about the past a lot. Gosh, I wish I would have done this better. I wish I should have said that, or I shouldn't have said that. And what that does is it takes us away from what's happening right in front of us. And the present moment is really all we ever have anyway. So how do we become present? There's a few different ways to do this. So one of them being points of contact. And what that means is wherever you're sitting right now, feel where you have points of contact on your body. You might be sitting in a chair and observing that I am sitting in a chair. How do your feet feel? Are they on the ground? Are they up on the couch? Are they on your bed? Right? Feeling those points of contact is a really great, simple, quick way to become present and aware of the present moment. The next one is non-judgmental awareness of thought and action. We did talk about this on the last slide, but we're going to go a little bit deeper into what that might mean. Now, awareness, so being aware of my thoughts, my feelings, my actions. Why we put non-judgmental in front of that is because it is really easy to get sucked into, oh, why am I thinking like that? Oh, I really wish I didn't have all these negative thoughts or traits or actions, right? So being able to be the observer of your life, or the observer of your thoughts and actions, understanding the humanness that comes along with thought and action. Nobody is perfect. So being able to decrease that judgment, that negative self-talk, that sometimes comes along with awareness. So keeping in mind that it is okay to have thoughts that I don't like, or to have an action that might have happened in the past that, dang, I wish I could have changed. That's okay. But when it gets to a point where I'm not okay, or I don't feel good about myself, that's where that judgment starts to come in with that awareness. And then lastly, another way to become present is focusing on one thing at a time, right? So sometimes we can get really sucked into multitasking and doing this, that, and the other thing all at once. So what does it look like to you to be focused on one thing? So that might be homework, or that might be even something as simple and natural as watching TV, right? Am I present while I'm watching TV? It also might be when you're talking to a friend. Am I present? This also, ties back into helping others. Am I present when I'm helping another person? Or is my mind, off thinking about what I'm going to have for dinner tonight or, checking things off of the to-do list, things like that. So just having that awareness of focus. Number 2, meditation. So there's a lot of different ways to meditate. And when you think about it, you could, there's lots of YouTube videos out there where it's guided meditations. There's also a podcast called Anchor. And I know that clients have been introduced to this in the past, but if you just download the Anchor app, it is free. And if you look up the UWO Counseling Center on there, you will find a wide variation of, short and long guided meditations. So that's a great app to be able to just explore a little bit what meditation means to you. Another form of meditation is silent meditation. So sitting in silence with your breath and with yourself. One concept of meditation, I think, or I should say maybe even a misconception, is that when I'm meditating, I should not be thinking about anything. Our mind is meant to think. And it's okay that thoughts go through your mind while meditating, right? So, if you're just taking the action of sitting down and getting quiet with yourself is meditation. And lastly, breath. So being aware of your breath. And I encourage you to take just a moment right now to breathe. And maybe notice the coolness of the air while you're taking an inhale. How the air fills your lungs and goes all the way through your body. And then take your long exhale. So that's a way to get connected and to feel present with the breath. So these are all different exercises that you can try out for yourself and whatever feels good for you. But just remember that it is a practice. I really don't know anyone who is great at meditating when they first start. I don't even know what it means to be good at meditating. But being able to have that practice, right? Knowing that I'm not going to achieve perfection with this and that it's okay that it's a practice. So switching gears back to helping others. Helping others actually helps us. Did you know that helping a loved one regulate their own emotions will make it easier to regulate your own? There's 2 ways that we can do this. One is acceptance. So displaying empathy to another person by validating their emotions. And then also reappraisal, helping another see their situation in a different way. When we practice this with others, it helps you to be able to practice this yourself as well. When thinking about how you can help others socially, there are 4 types of social support. So the first one being emotional support. This type of support often involves physical comfort, such as hugs or pats on the back, as well as listening and empathizing. So with emotional support, a friend or a loved one might give you a big hug and listen to your problems, letting you know that they have felt the same way too. Esteem support. This type of social support is shown in expressions of confidence or encouragement. So someone offering esteem support might point out the strengths that you're forgetting you have, or just let you know that they believe in you. If you let someone know that you believe in them, this often leads to them believing in themselves more. Informational support. This type of social support is shown by providing advice giving or in gathering and sharing information that can help people know of a potential next step that might work well for them. So somebody offering informational support might tell their friend what they would do if they were in the friend's situation. And lastly, tangible support. This type of social support includes taking responsibilities for someone else so they can deal with a problem, or in other ways, taking an active stance to help someone manage a problem they're experiencing. So someone who offers you tangible support might bring you dinner when you're sick, or help you brainstorm some solutions, or in other ways help you actively deal with the issue at hand.
So, two answers. One is service is king, and it doesn't mean not for profit, but showing up to serve, to give to others. But it sounds like you've got that one. And the other question is, who are you helping? I mean that specifically, like who is going through, someone you care about, or maybe you don't. Somebody in your life who's going through what you're going through, commit to helping them. This is the problem. We're all looking for our own answers. It's kind of a very selfish disposition, right? It's like there's an entire section in the bookshop called self-help, and there's no section in the bookshop called help others. Right? How can I lose 10 pounds? How can I find love? How can I find the job of my dreams? Right? As opposed to how can I help my friend live a healthy life? How can I help somebody I care about find somebody who will take care of them, for them to love? How can I help somebody find a career that they'll be passionate about for their entire life? Right? Commit ourselves to solving and helping others who are suffering with the same challenges we're struggling with, and we will accidentally solve our own problems. So I did this with a friend of mine. I have a friend who's been really struggling in her job. And she's an entrepreneur, and it's been an emotional roller coaster, which then affects her marriage, the whole deal. She's having a really hard time. And she's always coming to me for advice, and I'm always sitting with her and trying to give her the best advice. And this has been going on for a while, and it's not working. So I came up with an idea. I told her that I need help, which is true. I need plenty of help. I told her, I wasn't lying. I told her some of the challenges I had, and I said, can I make a deal with you? And this is I wasn't in the middle of talking to her. It was hey, I have an idea. I need your help. Can I pay you to coach me? Will you be my executive coach? Because I love you, I've known you for years, you know everything about me, I trust you, I'll listen to you, and I need a coach. Will you be my coach? And I don't want it to take away from your income, so I'll pay, And she said, fine. And she's not an executive coach, by the way. She's a personal trainer. And so she started coaching me. And we'd get together every week, and we'd sit down, we'd talk through everything. And she would commit herself, and she'd take notes and come up with strategies on how to help me. And a bunch of weeks in, her life started to turn around. And she started to find a confidence that she never had before in her own business. She started to make decisions that she would never have had the courage to make. And many, many weeks into it, I said, by the way, you know what I did there? I took my own theory and tried it out. Turns out it works. So commit yourself to helping others who are struggling with what you're struggling with, and you may find your own solution that way.
So now we are going to be doing a writing exercise. If you prefer to do this later, I just want you to know that the complete activity can be found in the description portion of the video. So think back over the past week and reflect on 3 moments where you showed kindness towards others or helped someone in need. No matter what the size of the act is, reflect and write down these moments. Here are a few links for you to take a look at in how to be helpful. Ways you can volunteer, right? So 5 tips in being a virtual volunteer, how to volunteer from home, and just some tips to get started with virtual volunteering. Thank you all so much for taking the time to participate in this workshop. When you have a minute, if you could please take the evaluation, which is listed in the video description below. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.